Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square, and as you know, I've been playing the delightful PlayStation VR puzzle platformer Moss from a new developer named Polyarc over the weekend, and as I promised last week, I'm going to bring you a full review of this game in this video. Now before I get into the review, please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more PlayStation VR content, and with that said, let's get into it. Okay, so let's get this out of the way right from the beginning. Moss is just so lovely that you'll want to snatch your duvet and snuggle up inside its fancy world. This is a fairy tale starring the delightfully animated Quill, and it reveals a pop-up book plot involving intrepid heroes and lush fantasy environments. Unfortunately, like so many virtual reality experiences, it feels like the prologue to a much more fulfilling adventure, and yeah, while there's just about enough meat here to satisfy the appetite of insatiable headset owners, its slender running time prevents the title from being the absolute must-own it otherwise deserves to be. I know, frustrating, right? But just make no mistake, this is one of the most pleasant experiences you'll find for Sony's pricey peripheral. Like, you essentially play as a character called the Reader, and the Reader is a kind of Ghibli-esque sorcerer who, through the pages of a magical tome, can see into Quill's lush forest home. Now, using the power of a magical stone, you're able to take control of the cute mouse character, and the title plays out like a series of interactive dioramas which you can touch using the DualShock 4's motion controls. Puzzles require you to push and pull blocks around using a cursor in 3D space, all while simultaneously directing the big-eared hero using buttons and the left analog stick. So honestly, the setup does occasionally flag flaws in PlayStation VR's hardware, as you're sometimes required to hold the controller in front of your face, which of course obscures the headset's lights from the PlayStation camera's view and causes it to flip out ever so slightly. For the most part, however, it's a supremely satisfying game to play. The level design wraps around your entire body, and while almost all of the action takes place directly in front of you, it feels like you're present inside the most detailed pop-up book imaginable. The sense of scale is absolutely terrific in some scenes, as like castles peer overhead or even wildlife shuffles around in the background, and because it's all presented in stereoscopic 3D, there's real depth to each and every set. Now, the puzzles are pitched perfectly too. They're never too challenging that you'll hit a brick wall, but they're just difficult enough to give you that all-important aha moment. Sometimes you'll need to twist and turn water fountains in order to open up new pathways for Quill. Other times you'll have to direct enemies to stand on pressure pads and even encourage them to zap switches for you. The combat is honestly serviceable at best, and that's owing to a lack of enemy types and attack options, but the title largely de-emphasises this element in favour of its environmental conundrums. Collectibles do add additional platforming challenges as you work extra hard to reach like hidden areas and stuff like that. The problem with the game then is that it just comes to a conclusion far too quickly. There's a definitely reason to replay it. You're unlikely to find all of the title's secrets in a single run, but it takes about 4 hours at most to reach the title's sequel baiting ending sequence, and in isolation it's just completely unfulfilling. But the bigger frustration here is that what's on offer is simply so outstandingly good that it feels like there should be more of it. There's obviously an argument in favour of quality over quantity, but at $24.99 in the UK or $29.99 in the US, the title doesn't really justify its price tag. Which is a real shame, because it does feel absurdly polished from start to finish really. Whimsical narration accompanies your quest in a Bastion-esque style, while Until Dawn composer Jason Graves turns in another delectable score filled with sweeping strings and body-rippling percussion. Quill absolutely steals the show though, using sign language to communicate with you in order to help you with puzzles, controls and looking over her shoulder inquisitively in order to ensure she's moving in the direction you want her to. The game does an absolutely outstanding job of using motion controls, reflective surfaces, and the protagonist herself to make you feel like you're actually present within its world. So Moss, in summary, is sublime throughout, but it's just so good that you'll wish there was more of it, like much more of it. Clocking in just a few hours, the game feels like the prologue for a much bigger adventure, and it'll leave you yearning for more. As a virtual reality experience, only minor technological limitations detract from its fantasy world and cunning use of the medium. And there's no doubt that Polyarc's built the foundations for something truly special here, but it needs to go away and write a few more chapters in Quill's tale. So those are my thoughts on Moss after playing through the game for review. I did play through it once and a half, and I've nearly got all the collectibles. I really enjoyed it, but like I say in the review, it's just not long enough, and it feels like it's a little bit too pricey, despite the quality being very high from start to finish. But let me know whether you're going to pick up Moss in the comment section below. Do remember to give this video a like, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more PlayStation VR content. And until next time, thank you so much for watching.